I've got a bit of tinkering to do with my British and Irish Lions squad. I've been doing this after every round of the Six Nations. Now the Six Nations has concluded. How do things change as I select a 41-man squad? I do have changes I'm going to make. That's kind of the point of this. It's a Lions tracker. So after big games, we take the new information we've got, the form of players, the fitness of players as well, and then tinker a bit with the squad. Just make little fine tweaks here and there. And this will continue as we have big Champions Cup games, big URC and Premiership games leading up to May the 8th, when Andy Farrell has to name his squad. Now, I've based it on a 41-man squad, which is what Warren Gatland took to New Zealand in 2017. 2021 was 37. That was COVID affected, so I think it'll be more like 41, maybe even 42. But I'll tell you what, the biggest thing you realise when you look at this, it's a properly hard job Andy Farrell's got. I haven't made any changes in the front row, in the prop at least. The ones I've gone for: Andrew Porter, Ellis Genge, Pierre Schoeman at loosehead prop, Xander Fagerson, Tyg Furlong, and Will Stewart at tight head prop. Finlay Bealham was kind of a swing extra prop. I don't know that position is necessarily needed. So kind of what I've said all along is I may well at some point take that 7th prop and plug it in with a different position elsewhere. Maybe a lock, maybe a back row, maybe an outside back, who knows. But that's how it is for the time being. I'm also going to leave hooker exactly as it is with Dan Sheehan. I mean, far and away the main man, the incumbent. As for the ones that go with him, I mean, take your pick. What I will say is Luke Cowan-Dickie's on the radar more than Ewan Ashman now, but it could be Rona Kelleher. I'm just going to stick with Dewi Lake and Jamie George. I don't think that the Wales tokenism will play into it with Andy Farrell. Andy Farrell strikes me as the kind of guy that recognises what an opportunity this is for the players and how hard they work, and he will do it purely on merit. If there was a 50-50 call and you couldn't decide, then maybe Dewi Lake being Welsh will just get him on the plane. But we'll see. Rona Kelleher, brilliant player. Luke Cowan-Dickie's had a great Six Nations. But there you go. So no changes in the front row. I am so close to making changes in the second row. The first thing I'm going to do is, well, we haven't seen Adam Beard, so I don't know why he's still there. Let's put Chandler Cunningham South on there. He played 62 minutes at second row against Wales and looked really good. And as a utility forward, covering the whole back five of the scrum, or at least 4, 6, 8, that is potentially an option for Andy Farrell. I still think maybe that's a little bit too soon for Chandler Cunningham South versus some of the other players, but I will say James Ryan disappointed me a little bit. I was expecting him to push on. Joe McCarthy as well had some brain fart moments. I've still got both of them on the plane with Tyg Byrne, Maro Itoje and Ollie Chesham. But I tell you what, one of those two Irishmen could lose their spot to George Martin, and Scott Cummings is someone I'm really, really looking to get back and playing with Glasgow, because I do like him a lot. I think Scotland missed him massively, and I could absolutely see him going on the tour. Could be 6 locks, like I say. Maybe you take Bealham and you take Cummings, but I'm going to leave it as it is for now. Back row, this is absolutely stacked. Look at the quality of players that aren't on my list. The last time out, I had Tom Curry and Jamie Ritchie as your 6s, Josh van der Fleer and Rory Darge as your 7s, Taulupe Faletau and Caelan Doris as 8s, with Jack Morgan and Ben Earl, who can kind of do a job right across the back row. Nice balance in that 8, balance of countries, 2 Irishmen, 2 Scotsmen, 2 Englishmen, 2 Welshmen. Nice and symmetrical with the people covering the different positions. I would love to pick Jack Willis. I just think Jack Willis would be in there, no question, if it weren't for the top 14 final being on the same day that the British and Irish Lions would be playing Western Force, which, and the week before when they play Argentina in Dublin, is the semi-final of the top 14. So there's, I mean, can you go into a British and Irish Lions tour and only have 2 games before the first test match? I'm not so sure. I think that might count against Jack Willis, but absolute dynamite player. I am going to make changes here. I am going to make changes. Taulupe Faletau, I really, it's the sentimental selection, isn't it? I want him to go on a 4th tour. But I just think in the cold light of day, when I was watching the games at the weekend, I thought, no, I think Jack Conan offers a little bit more. So Jack Conan is back in for me. He was in before. I put Faletau in. Conan's back. But I am going to make one more change. I tell you what, Ben Curry, what a beast. And along with his brother, absolute animals. That whole English back row have had a brilliant Six Nations Championship. when they were beaten by France, it wasn't by much, and a big part of that is the fact that England's back row starters and on the bench were menaces. I think they've all been excellent, but who do you drop though? Because Jamie Ritchie's been fantastic, and he also plays 6, which is important. Rory Darge, I think, has been great for Scotland. Jack Morgan as well. I tell you what, the one right now, and I'm going to emphasise right now that I drop for Ben Curry, is Josh van der Fleer, who I think by his very, very, very high standards has had a very quiet Six Nations. But the thing is, you go back to November, and I was saying things like Jack Morgan is back close to his World Player of the Year levels. I thought he was immense in November. He's been amazing the first part of the season for Leinster. So I've absolutely no doubt that he's got that in his locker, and maybe he's already got enough credit in the bank that he will get on the plane anyway. But I have no doubt that in big Champions Cup games, Josh van der Fleer can flex and show what he's about and earn that spot back, whether it's from Ben Curry or Jamie Ritchie, Rory Darge, Jack Morgan, whoever it may be. But there you go. That's the selections I've made in the forwards for now. That's the forward pack that I'm taking. Again, Finlay Bealham, I could see that spot changing to a lock or another back row, but that's how I've got it for now. Porter, Genge, Schoeman, Sheehan, George and Lake, Ferguson, Stewart, Furlong, with Bealham as well as an extra swing prop. Itoje, McCarthy and Ryan with Byrne and Chesham. Curry, the 2 Currys and Earl for England. Ritchie and Darge for Scotland. Morgan for Wales. And the 2 Irish number 8s. Meaning there are 9 Ireland forwards. 8 English forwards, 4 Scots and 2 Welshmen. Thoughts, please let me know in the comments down below. It's really, really hard, isn't it? It's quite fun too. Give the video a thumbs up and hit subscribe as well if you're here as well. As for scrum half, I've been properly impressed with Ben White this Six Nations. Consistency of his performance. Jamison Gibson-Park had a couple of man of the match performances and then was a bit quiet by his standards. Ben White has been absolutely consistent and he just gets that back line moving. And if combinations are important, it'll be very interesting to see if, say, Finn Russell or Sione Tuipulotu, Hugh Jones are in the back line, Blair Kinghorn. Do you lean into that combination a little bit more? I think Ben White's really, really impressed me. So I think he's the number 2 behind Jamison Gibson-Park. And I've still got Alex Mitchell in the 3rd spot. He completely outplayed Thomas Williams, albeit Thomas Williams was behind a pack that were getting absolutely marmalised, which also made Alex Mitchell's job a whole lot easier. As for fly half, last time, I mean, this is so difficult as well because you've got so many good young fly halves that haven't established themselves on the international stage. And what I said last time out was, I'm not sure the British and Irish Lions Tour is a place to learn on the job, which is why I have looked over Sam Prendergast and Finn Smith. Jack Crowley's now back on the radar because he played well. For me, Marcus Smith in 2024 was the best fly half in the world. I think he's absolutely magic. And I would take him, and I really, really rate Finn Russell. I know a lot of people putting a lot of credit in Finn Smith's bank, and I'm totally on board with that. I think he's a wonderful player. I just think you need a bit of experience on a British and Irish Lions Tour. Russell and Smith have both been on a tour before. Farrell's been on a few, which is why I put him there. I could totally see the 2 Smiths going with Russell. I could see Crowley going. Tom Jordan, I'll tell you what, as an outside bet, as a utility back, he's done himself no harm whatsoever. Having seen him at the weekend, there was something about watching that last half hour with George Ford. He's such a classy player. 99 caps. This is what, along with back row, this is the most open position. I don't know any of these players could start the first test against Australia. Any of them. Gut feeling I'm going with on this one. Gut feeling, I've got George Ford into the squad. Owen Farrell out. I think you need someone with that kind of experience and calmness, having played in massive games, World Cup finals, World Cup semi-finals, that kind of thing. So that's why I've got him there. It could be Owen Farrell again. Let's see how he plays for Racing 92. But there you go. I've put Ford in. Your thoughts? Let me know. Centre. Ringrose and Henshaw didn't have their best day. Aki was strangely quiet as well. So Ollie Lawrence would have been going with the way he was playing, and one of those guys would have missed out as a result. But as it is, I'm just going to stick with those 5. And the little caveat I'll say is Tom Jordan is putting himself in the shop window. Outside backs. Emmanuel Faye-Waboso would be an absolute shoo-in, potential test starter. The injury means he's likely to miss out. So that's why Mac Hansen and Darcy Graham is there as a right-wing options. I will say, I just want to put Blair Murray in the mix. Bit of a Lions bolter right there. How good has he been? Really, really fun player. So electrifying with the ball. Plays fullback and wing. So I just want to make sure he's on the radar now because his performances demand it very early into his professional rugby career. So maybe a bit soon for him for the Lions, but definitely one to watch. I do want to make a change here because I was looking at this and look at the composition of those outside backs. Do you need more than 2 players that can play fullback? I think possibly you might, particularly as Blair Kinghorn could be a player that Andy Farrell slots in from time to time as fly half, or a player on the bench covering fly half. I don't know. Do you need someone else that can play at fullback? Tommy Freeman has played there for Northampton Saints, but at international level it's a little bit different. I know Mac Hansen can slot in there, but hasn't very often. So would someone with a bit more versatility be useful? And I think it would. And also when it's someone that's been playing really, really well, Elliot Daly, a lot of people had written off, a lot of England fans had written him off. He has answered those critics big time, been really good, and he can legitimately play international level, has done in massive games at fullback and at outside centre. So I think if you were putting a squad together, and also look at the players, only Duhan van der Merwe has been on a British and Irish Lions tour out of the others. None of the others have. James Lowe hasn't. Hugo Keenan hasn't. Tommy Freeman, Blair Kinghorn, Darcy Graham, none of them have been on a Lions tour. And to have someone that's been on a couple and won in massive games against New Zealand, scored, he was a part of that Sean O'Brien amazing try, wasn't he, against New Zealand. Experience like that is really, really valuable. So I love the Mac Hansen story, the fact he'd be a tour guide back in Australia, but just for now, he misses out for me. So Daly's performances rewarded, meaning the back line looks like that. This can all change, and it will all change. And Andy Farrell, he's the one making the decision at the end of the day. This is how I've got it. It's just quite fun to select. So let me know what you think. That leaves it within the back line: 7 Scotsmen, 6 Irishmen, 5 Englishmen, no Welshmen, meaning the total tally: 15 Irish players, 13 Englishmen, 11 Scotsmen, and the 2 Welshmen, Dewi Lake and Jack Morgan. So the number of Irishmen has come down a little bit. Number of Englishmen has gone up a couple, which kind of reflects the performances of the 2 teams in the last few weeks, I guess, which is the point of this. The whole point of this is to track the performance of the squad and change accordingly. As for a test team, the last time I picked a 23-man squad, if I get myself out of the way, was that. I do have some changes to make there. I mean, as you can see, Josh van der Fleer, I have dropped from my squad, and yet he is in that lineup. So obviously that has to change. And I do have a change to make, not just there, but also in the back line, where Bundy Aki's quiet performance means I've put him on the bench with Sione Tuipulotu, and then you get that 10, 12, 13 Scottish axis together. And Ben Earl's performances, for me, have got him into the back row with a number 7 on his back. I know he was number 8 for England at the weekend, can play across the back line. His energy was absolutely off the charts. And Australia, that's what they bring with their back row. Rob Valentini, Fraser McWright, Harry Wilson, that's the strength of their team. So I want to match that fire with some fire. And that's how I've got it. Let me know what you think. It'd be boring if we all agreed. But that's my Test 23. That is my Lions squad as things stand. It will change as the big games come, and I look forward to revisiting this again. I'll see you on the next video.